Have you ever wanted to completely change your life, but the idea just feels overwhelming? Well, today we're diving into a book that argues the secret isn't some massive overhaul. It's about tiny, daily actions. This is our look at James Clear's Atomic Habits, a book that gives you a real, practical system for change, not just a dose of motivation.
And this quote right here, it's pretty much the entire book in a nutshell. The most amazing outcomes in our lives, they don't actually come from those huge one-time efforts. Nope, they're the result of small, consistent things we do over and over again, day after day.
All right, let's get into the core idea, because the math behind this is actually kind of mind-blowing. The whole system is built on one simple, really powerful number.
That's it, just 1%. See, the goal isn't to revolutionize your life by tomorrow morning. It's just to get 1% better every single day. I know, it sounds so small, it's almost insignificant, right? But believe me, the long-term effect is anything but.
And here's where you really see that power in action. That tiny 1% improvement every day, it compounds. Over a year, you become 37 times better. But what about the other side of that coin? A tiny 1% decline each day. It pretty much wipes out all your progress. It's such a stark visual of how these tiny choices add up.
The book uses this brilliant analogy of an airplane. Imagine a plane taking off from LA, headed for New York. If the pilot adjusts the nose just one tiny degree to the south, you wouldn't even notice it at takeoff. But by the time it crosses the country, that tiny shift could land the plane in a whole different city. Your habits are that 1-degree shift for your life. Okay, so now that we have the math, let's get into the mindset, because the book introduces this really powerful psychological shift. See, true lasting change isn't about what you want to achieve, it's about who you want to become.
And this slide just captures that difference perfectly. Instead of focusing on an outcome, like I want to lose weight, you focus on an identity. I am a healthy person. What does a healthy person do? Well, they make healthy choices. What does a reader do? They read. You see? When you change who you believe you are, your actions just naturally start to follow.
And here's the crucial part. Your identity comes from your habits. You don't just wake up one day and decide you're a new person. You have to prove it to yourself with small wins. Think of it this way. Every action you take is like a vote for the type of person you wish to become.
So now for the toolkit. How do we actually build these identity-shaping habits? Well, James Clear gives us this simple 4-step framework you can use for pretty much anything.
Okay, so every habit follows a loop. A cue, a craving, a response, and a reward. So to build a good habit, you just follow these 4 laws. You make the cue obvious, the craving attractive, the action easy, and the reward satisfying. And if you want to break a bad habit, you just do the opposite. You make it invisible, unattractive, difficult, and unsatisfying. Simple, right?
This is such a critical idea. We always think we just need more motivation or more willpower, but the book argues that our environment is like this invisible hand that shapes everything we do. You want to read more? Put a book on your pillow. You want to scroll social media less? Put your phone in another room. You literally design your environment so the good habits are just the easiest things to do.
So, you've got the system, but having the tools is only half the battle. You also need the right mindset, because real change takes time, and you won't always see results right away. This part is key if you don't want to give up.
And this concept, this is probably one of the most powerful ideas in the whole book. It's called the plateau of latent potential. It explains why in the beginning, it feels like all your effort is for nothing. You're working hard, but you don't see any results. It's like an ice cube that's warming up from -10 degrees to 0. It's still a block of ice, but change is happening under the surface. You're building up potential.
And that's the absolute truth, isn't it? Every big breakthrough moment is always preceded by a long time spent on that plateau. People see the final result, but they don't see the years of quiet, consistent work that made it happen. You have to be patient enough to push through that invisible phase. This brings us all the way back to that 1% idea. Just like money in a bank account, the effects of your habits multiply over time. A small effort that you repeat consistently doesn't just add up, it compounds, and that leads to some seriously exponential growth down the line.
Oh man, this is such a practical, real-world piece of advice. Look, you're human. You're gonna miss a day. Life happens. Perfection is not the goal. The key isn't to never fail, it's to not let one failure turn into 2. If you miss a workout today, just make sure you show up for the next one. 1 missed day? That's an accident. 2 missed days? That's the start of a new, bad habit.
Okay,
We have covered a ton of ground, so let's boil all of this down into a clear summary and a super simple plan that you can start using literally the second this is over.
So let's just recap the big 5 lessons. First, remember that huge changes come from tiny daily actions. Second, true transformation is all about identity change. Third, your environment is way stronger than your motivation. Fourth, keep your habits super simple. And finally, the golden rule: never miss twice. Consistency over perfection, always.
So here's your action plan. Don't try to change everything all at once. Just pick one thing. Then make it ridiculously small. I mean, so small you can't possibly say no. Don't aim to read a book. Aim to read 1 page. Don't aim to work out for an hour. Aim to do 1 push-up. Then tie it to a specific time of day and just track it. That's how you begin.
And this really is the ultimate truth of the entire book. Real permanent change isn't dramatic. It's not a movie montage. It's the result of all those countless small, sometimes boring, and often invisible choices that you make every single day. If you can change those little decisions, you will, slowly but surely, change your entire life.
So, I'll leave you with this one question. Forget about all the grand plans and massive transformations for just a moment. What is the one tiny atomic habit that if you started today would put you on a completely new path?